we are organizing a FDP on a topic of great interest to everyone, that is the Indian knowledge system and its different aspects. Now, there are a few speakers from our college itself and one speaker who is coming from Chanakya University. So, right at the beginning, I extend a welcome to all of you, and I'm requesting the following members to please come on to the dais. Our principal, Madam Dr. Madhumanjari Mandal, please. Dr. Supratim Das, our vice principal, please come to the dais. And our three speakers, I am calling to the dais. Dr. Indrani Kaur, Associate Professor of the Department of Sanskrit, please come. Dr. Debashish Ghosh, to the dais, please. And Sri Vivek Karmakar, Assistant Professor at our Sanskrit Department. Please be seated, sirs and madam. We are starting the program with the welcome address by our principal, Dr. Madhumanjari Mandal. Please, the welcome address. You have all got the program, I presume.
Good afternoon, everyone. Professor Rishabant Dongre, Honorable Vice Chancellor of Chanakya University, Bangalore. Professor Sushant Joshi, Registrar, Chanakya University. Honorable Speakers from Chanakya University, Dr. Vinayak Rajat Bhatt, School of Arts, Humanities and Social Sciences, Center of Indian Knowledge System, and the Honorable Speaker from the morning session, Professor Bhavani, Registrar, Shivaji University, Kolhapur, and she was the former Vice Chair of Karnataka Kerala Chapter AIMS. It is my honor and privilege to welcome you all in this joint venture of organizing a career counseling session in the morning for students and now this faculty development program. And we are grateful especially to Srimati Shubhakankhi Gauri from Chanakya University and Professor Amitabh Chatterjee from Scottish Church College for connecting these two institutions together to organize this day-long seminar. Our Vice Principal, Sir, Dr. Supratim Das, IQAC Coordinator, Dr. Shamrat Bhattacharjee, our Bursar, Dr. Upendranath Nondi, Senator Secretary, Dr. Bidisha Sinha, Teachers Council Secretary, and one of our speakers for this session, Dr. Indrani Kaur, other two speakers from the Department of Sanskrit, Scottish Church College, Sri Vivek Karmakar এবং Dr. Debashish Ghosh, all respected participants from our college and from other colleges of Kolkata and from all over India who are actually present either offline or online through our SCC Live YouTube channel. On behalf of Scottish Church College family, I welcome you all. I am grateful to the organizers as they have done A really great job. Special thanks goes to Kubakankhi, who has taken the pen to write mails on behalf of Chanukya University incessantly to see this day. I am also indebted to Professor Amitabh Chatterjee, coordinator of our Commerce Department, for his initiatives for this joint venture.
Thank you.
Our college is 195 years old and established by Reverend Dr. Alexander Duff, the first missionary from Scotland in India. The college emphasizes on the whole person development of the students and believes in rich pedagogy of the institution since its inception. This college has produced luminaries who took major role in nation building. Among the many, the most important names to be mentioned are Swami Vivekananda and Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. To carry the legacy, college faculty and students are struggling for achieving the excellence. I wish all the best to our speakers today and the participants. I think this is the time to give a big round of applause to both organizers and participants. May God bless us all. Thank you.
I will request our vice principal to say words.
A very good afternoon. In the program, I have been given 5 minutes. I am taking this as 300 seconds. Now, initially, I must say that there is a particular division or department, if I am not wrong, under the Ministry of Education, Government of India, with this title, India Knowledge System. I hope this is ours is different from that, although the contents must be same. If we have to say anything about Indian knowledge system, then we must refer to important colonial discourses, because initially we find two important major discourses about Indian tradition, heritage, and knowledge system. Of course, coming from the West, because India was a colony for 190 years. Now, we see that in the 19th century, there were German romantics, or there were subsections of people in other parts of Europe for whom, unfortunately, India happened to be a land of a land of Maharajas, a land of hermits, a land of snake charmers, a land of rope trick, a land of magic and sorcery. That was a very major, uh, dominant discourse about India. And in this theory, particularly the German romantics, they romanticized everything India. That India was a land of untold wealth and endless spiritualism. But this is one extreme of perception about Indian tradition and Indian antiquity, where knowledge systems actually began. Then we had exactly an opposite perception, where the whole Indian system, it may be pedagogy, it may be epistemology, it may be the system of disciplines, the entire thing was dismissed. That India is a country where people, they only knew spiritualism, there is no materialism, there is no industrialism, there is no individualism, there is no public opinion. India is a land of despotism. This second view, which is another extreme, so we find two oscillations, extreme oscillations. The second view is particularly known as the major colonial discourse about India, because whatever we have, whatever we know as our history and culture, we know particularly, unfortunately, through the lenses of the Westerners. So there are uh, traditions, different generations of Indologists, explorers, archaeologists, all coming from the West and looking at India through Western lenses. This is in professional discipline, this is known as Eurocentrism. So, in between these two extremes, we have to find our own knowledge system. Mind it that there is a problem of colonizing not only the Indian body but Indian mind. If that is one thing, colonizing body and colonizing the mind, which is coming from the top, then after decolonization, that is after independence, we find exactly the opposite, that is decolonizing the mind. Both are extremes and nothing can be appreciated in toto. Because our knowledge system means that I referred to initially, the Indian knowledge system of a division of Indian government of India today. It speaks loudly of, and rightly of course, mainly the Vedic corpus, Vedic literature, Upanishads, of course there were Puranas, but we find that Indian knowledge system includes, in the words of Amartya Sen, a huge divergent corpus. And it is very difficult to find anything on a unilinear direction. There is Brahmanical tradition, there is non-Brahmanical tradition, Buddhist, Jain. There is secular literature, there is absolutely religious literature. Dharma Shastras are there, Sriti Shastras are there, Samhitas are there, of course, Puranas are there, epics are there, but at the same time, there is a very strong undercurrent which has been appropriated by Brahmanism, and very unfortunately, a strong undercurrent of Buddhism, Jainism, Ajivika religion, and covering so many contradictory tribes, castes, clans, so many identities. So when we try to address the particular theme called, which can be, so many things can be assembled under the rubric of Indian knowledge system, then it is a divergent assemblage. And we need to be Catholic in our approach, not Catholic in a religious sense. Need to be liberal in our approach. We need not be, we must not be lopsided. So I think this is going to be a very important discussion. We need to discuss it because if colonizing is true, colonization is true, decolonization is equally true. In post-colonial literature, in postmodern literature, in cultural studies, there have been contra tendencies. Naturally, no extreme is good. We need a balance. Thank you.
Okay, I'll try to economize with the time as far as possible because we have well known, very well known speakers. I will balance it out, don't worry, sir. Now, we are coming to the speakers today. I don't think they need much introduction, but still, straight from the Sanskrit department of our college, which is no doubt a center of knowledge and a key department of the college. We have Dr. Indrani Kaur here. She is senior most in the department. Dr. Devashish Ghosh over here, the assistant professor, and of course, Vivi, who is my junior colleague over here as well. They will be speaking on behalf of this college. Okay. That will be followed by a lecture coming from a very outstanding person of the Chanakya University School of Arts and Social Sciences, Dr. Vinayak Bhatt. I need not go into the full details of the person, but he has a very checkered career, I think, as a person who very much belongs to the pedagogy of discussing the Indian knowledge system. I am very grateful to our vice principal, sir, because I think I have converged every line with what he has said. The problem of balance is very, very crucial when we discuss this topic. One has to have an open mind. Look at the culture and heritage of the country. Think of the ancient times. Go back so many years. Look at the huge realm of Sanskrit literature and followed by the architecture of the country. These are parts of our heritage. We are proud of them, but not in any parochial sense. Sorry, we're proud of. With these few words, I have balanced the time out. With these few words, I would like to hear Indranidhi of our college because she will introduce the topic, just introduction of the topic, followed by two junior speakers, Devashish and Vivek, respectively. I would only request the academicians to try and stay within the time given because we also have to listen to the speaker who is coming, and our YouTube is very much constructed in that way. So please keep that in mind. I know you have lots to say, and I'm sure the faculty, learned faculty who have come here, have to say something in the question answer time. I'm sure about that. But we've had to remain confined within the 2 hours of allotted for today. But with the permission of our principal ma'am, we need to have a much fuller uh, discussion of this on a later date. Someday we will have to be much more prepared because this is right at the heart of the national education policy, as you know. And we have to keep pace with the times. That is one of the lessons of history. We have to keep pace. Whether we agree or we don't take, that's a different matter. Okay. Thank you very much. Indranidhi, we are waiting for you.
Thank you, sir. A very good afternoon to all. It is for the first time the Department of Sanskrit Scottish Church College, along with the IQSC of Scottish Church College, has arranged a FDP program in collaboration with the Chanakya University, Bengaluru, on Indian knowledge system. I am honored for having the opportunity to deliver the keynote address of this auspicious beginning. Thank you all. Now, first, I will want to focus what is IKS, Indian Knowledge System. It is in these days in very much discussion due to its inclusion in NEP 2020. But we all know the system is nothing new. It was prevalent from the days of the Veda, Puranas, Mahakavyas, and others. But it has gained importance due to the priority given in these days in the syllabus throughout the country. If we express in our traditional language, it will be synonymous to Bharatiya Jnana Parampara or Jnana Vijnana Parampara. So, knowledge or Jnana is the key word of the IKS. Now, please tell me, what is knowledge? We all agree upon that learning or degree or knowledge. I repeat, learning and degree and knowledge all are not equivalent words to each other. So we accept that knowledge is something different which one can attain from his or her quest, experience, study of treatise, study of nature, and finally, of course, from his or her own realization of life. The Sanskrit word for knowledge we all know is the jnana, which is derived from the root gya, which means to know. Now, the question is how to know what is the path of attainment of knowledge. We all know that there is a procedure of attaining something. One has to get some qualifications for a job or for an admission to some course, whatever. To obtain qualification or we have to come through a process, learning process. We all agree on that. This process is nothing but system of achieving the goal. Similarly, Bharatiya Jnana Parampara is a process of learning in a systematic way. You can attain knowledge through a learning process, which is Indian knowledge system. The process is Vidya Charcha, and it will lead you to Jnana. Vidyaya Lavate Jnanam. Now, I want to address why is it necessary? Please tell me why knowledge is necessary. Is degree is not sufficient? Why knowledge? We are discussing knowledge. Why? Because it's the knowledge that makes you complete, makes you feel contented, brings happiness within yourself. I think you all agree. And provides an insight through which you can see the world differently and analyze accordingly. It's a fulfillment. Jnana Vijnana Vimuktaye. Knowledge liberates. So, attainment of knowledge is our goal, and the path is Indian knowledge system, our very own tradition. A liberated mind can think of whole person education, can perceive overall development of a society. Thus, a nation will progress in the true sense of the term. Now, I must say, what is the necessity or what is the purpose of IKS in NEP 2020? I think I have, whatever discussion I have made so far, it has an answer to this. Again, the Indian knowledge system syllabus under NEP aims to integrate ancient Indian knowledge and practices into various educational levels, including schools and higher education. This integration encompasses fields like mathematics, astronomy, philosophy, yoga, and more, promoting a scientific approach to understanding and applying traditional knowledge. The IKS syllabus encourages a holistic approach to learning, connecting different disciplines and exploring the relevance of ancient knowledge to contemporary issues. It focuses on tribal knowledge, indigenous practices, and traditional ways of learning. And at the same time, it emphasizes a practical application in various fields such as medicine, agriculture, engineering, aiming to address the real world problems. And now I have to say some words on aspects and scope of IKS. There are experts who will elaborate all these things. Just I am giving a sketch. Knowledge of different domains over a period of time has been institutionalized as so many disciplines, vidya and crafts, kala. Indian disciplinary formations include fields as diverse as philosophy, architecture, grammar, mathematics, astronomy, metrics, sociology, that is Dharma Shastra, economy and polity, Artha Shastra, ethics, Niti Shastra, geography, logic, don't get bored, military science, weaponry, agriculture, mining, trade and commerce, metallurgy, shipbuilding, medicine, poetics, biology, and what else not? Veterinary science, everything. We have series of texts in each and every discipline. Our tradition refers to 18 major vidyas, theoretical disciplines, and 64 kalas, applied or vocational disciplines or crafts. The 18 vidyas are four Vedas, four subsidiary Vedas, Purana, Nyaya, Mimamsa, Dharmashastra, and six Vedangas. These constituted the 18 sciences in ancient India. Regarding 64 crafts or kala, it is to be admitted first that for the craftsmen, the craft is not only their profession, it is also their worship. These crafts have a direct bearing on day to day life of the people, and most of them are still a part of the Indian life. These were taught, are still taught by a teacher to his or her disciples. Watching the teacher doing odd jobs assigned there and gradually learning from the guru, and finally long practices, abhyasa, make one a craftsman. We can see this even today in Indian dance, music, and even in automobile repairing. The traditional list include history, poetry, calligraphy, dancing, wrestling, what not, cooking, painting, hunting, animal husbandry, magic, bangle making, shoe making, hairdressing, everything, playing musical instruments among the crafts. All these are day to day work and service. It is also easy to see the realism in the enumeration. Gambling and thieving are also recognized as crafts. You all agree. The subtle way of thieving 1 minute that your account is zero. This is a very much, it requires very much training. So, gambling and thieving were also part of the crafts. It is significant that in the Indian tradition, the craftsman is held in high esteem as a sadhaka, a devotee, whose mind attaches with great reverence to his object. This his training is a form of tapa, which is very similar to the condition of the students who stays in the teacher's house for learning. So it is now apparent that the India has a rich tradition of Vidya and Kala with their innumerable branches and sub branches. Every aspect of it should be at least noted in the journey towards the knowledge. As the area is substantially large, so scope of utilizing the resources is beyond our ability. Even then, one must try to understand in a nutshell the uniqueness of our knowledge system. And now the present day relevance, prayojanam anuddishya na mandopi pravartate. Hmm. When I have explained the necessity of IKS, I think it has highlighted a little bit on the relevance or utility of learning Indian knowledge system. India has a rich tradition of establishing a theory refuting the opposition. This is found in our philosophical treatise, mostly written in Sanskrit. Gradually, it has become a source to know the academic discourse of ancient times. The entire knowledge system of Indian tradition has its origin based on the concept of Astika Nastika Darshana. Astika, who is believer, and Nastika, who is a non believer. But what do they believe or what one does not believe? What is the question? Believe what or not to believe what? No, it is not the existence of God or Ishvara. The bone of content lies on the existence of Vedic tradition. Veda asti iti matiryasya sa astika, Veda nasti iti matiryasya sa nastika. This is the beginning point, and herefrom emerges all the discourses. Not only philosophy, grammar, dramaturgy, literature, science and technology, lifestyle of the Indian tradition has blazed the knowledge system abundantly. Here are the experts to focus on this. To sum up, I can only request the audience to respect your tradition, analyze it in a critical way. What is beneficial for the society, internalize it, and proceed to achieve your goal. In Bhagavad Gita, it is said, Shraddhavan labhate jnanam parah sangjatendriya jnanam labdhva parang shantim achirena adhigacchati. One who has faith or respect attains knowledge. One who subdues his senses quickly attains the supreme spiritual peace. So, the Indian knowledge system teaches us to do everything with respect, achieve everything with proper effort, and render service to the mankind. Shraddhaya, Tapasa, Sevaya. These three key words denote the relevance of the Indian knowledge system in the present day society. Thank you all for your patience. I hope you can now understand the vastness of the Indian knowledge system, and I have just presented a brief sketch of the subject in a simple way. It's the surface only. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you, Indranidhi. Now, I think you are very much summing up of the whole Indian knowledge system. Uh, but we are now going to slightly more special areas within the Indian knowledge system. And I will request my colleague, Devashi, both to admit with the architecture aspects of the system. Maybe we'll get yes, of course.
কি মাউস নেই না তোর কাছে আছে আমার ওখানে চেয়ার আছে কিনে দাও না খুব ভালো হয় দেরি হয় এটা কি জন্য রেখেছো এটা কি ছিল ও বন্ধ করি হয়ে গেছে হ্যাঁ ম্যাডামের তো হয়ে গেল দরকার ওখানে চেয়ারে থাক দেখা গেছে এ কি বন্ধ হয়ে গেল কেন আরে পিন ড্রাইভ মরে গেছে ও পেন ড্রাইভ মরে গেছিল তাই বলি কিছু গেল ওকে হুম লাগবে এই ঘরে মাইন না না ঠিক আসবে না কেন কি ওই ওকে respected organizers from both the colleges, Chanakya University and Scottish Church College, especially our coordinator who selected me to speak over here on Indian architecture. And I must thank the senior most teacher of our department to introduce the subject to you all. And I would like to continue from there. So, without uh, going to much further details, I'm going straight to the topic, which is architecture. So, the entire lecture, as there is a time constraint, I would like to introduce the subject, and then I will straight jump to the very specific topic, some technical terms about Indian temples. That's all. Okay. Only the major Indian temple styles. Okay. The term we normally use for architecture is Vastu or Sthapatya. Sthapatya Ved, which is part of Atharva Ved, and from there we are still continuing with that particular stream of knowledge, and scholars over the generations, they are contributing to that subject. The term vastu, it means habitation, where we can live on or in. Suppose the locus of all of us, the Adhar, is Bhumi, the land. So Vastu means, implies Bhumi in general. But technically speaking, it is a residence or habitation of men or deities according to Moyo. So, according to Moyo, as he described in his text, Vastu is a residence of deities and men. But Vishwakarma Prakasha, he expanded it a little more. Why Vastu, the residence of men and deity only? Vastu, the residence of animals, other beings, also must be considered as Vastu. As he explained the Hastishala and other the designing of those animal residents also. Just like we are now designing the dog houses and like that. So in detail he planned for that. So Vastu Shastra, it literally means Shastra. It means the manual. Uh, s- this particular manual which deals with Vastu. Simple. So knowledge of dwelling or habitation is Vastu Shastra. So what are the topics we discuss under Vastu Shastra? So these topics are divided into four basic groups: Dhara, land or earth; second, Horma or the building; third, Jnana or conveyance; or four, Poryanka or the couch or the furnitures. So interior designing also included in architecture. So under Dhara, they are discussing plans, designs of village. Now we are talking about city planning, planned city. So village planning of town, fort, palace, temple, house, even gardens. So under building or hormo, they are discussing about prasada, mandapa, kavha, gathering places. So place of gatherings like assembly halls or like that. Mandapa, sabha, sala, the rooms. Then propa, the water storages. Now we are talking about the water conservation kind of thing. So they are planning since starting that proper is important term of human habitat. There must be a provision for a proper water storage. And Aranga, the where we normally sleep, bedrooms kind of thing. So it comes under that. Not only that, the yana. So now they are discussing about building the transport mediums like Adhika, Syandana, Shivika, Ratha, all kind of things they are discussing under that yana. And again, the fourth important point is Paryanka, the interior objects like Panjara, again Manchali, Mancha, again Kashtha, Kakashtha, Folokashana, it's a wooden sitting arrangements kind of thing. Kakashta is a wooden furniture, normal. Even not even that. Bala Porjanka, baby cot, designing of a baby cot is also discussed over here. Okay. Now, sometimes the later text like Vishwakarma Prakash, they are discussing about the designing of aquarium or the pinjara. Pinjara means the cages, the different measurements of cages for peacocks or lions or different animals. If someone's so rich, they can maintain, they can pet those animals at their house or prasada. There must be a certain measurement for those cages so that those animals can move freely or they can live happily over there. Then, so, what are the sources of this subject? The major text I just listed over here, the list seems like endless. So, bear with that. Manashara Silpa Shastra, Mayamatam, I just quoted from there. Manamatam, Vishwakarma Vastu Shastra, by Vishwakarma, Samaranga Sutradhara, like that. So it goes on. Brihat Shangita, even the mathematicians, they are contributing about the measurements and the designings of uh, uh, different architectural plannings. They are took part on those also. Like Brihat Shangita, it is a book of mathematics, but there, chapter 53 to 58, they are discussing about Vastu Shastra or Stapatya Vidya. Again, Mohagams and other texts, Vastu Sharani, and the list goes on and on and on and on. Manashollas, basically a book of dance, but they are talking about the interior designings, proper placement of objects inside the house, so that our mood can be uplifted. So they are talking about that. The Manashollas, only the chapters, few chapters are discussed about Vastu Shastra. So Vastu Shastra system discusses in brief the design, the layout of the building, the space arrangement, placement of things, and geometry. So Vastu start, as we came to know, that Vastu started from Vedic period, from planning or designing from a Vedic sacrificial uh, Vedi or formations or the Yogyashala formations, and from there they continued and developed their subject these to this extent. And now, uh, let me show you some photos. This is a photo from Manoshara. Okay, this is a town plans and street layouts. Any modern city follows this kind of great pattern format even today. Okay, the grid pattern format is the best format for any town, city, or village designs. If you compare this with the first uh, planned city of India, this is Jaipur city, which is designed according to the Vastu Shastra, you will look, it looks like same. They are following this. And the eight grid was there. Suppose this is a plan. Uh, floor plan of Jawahar Kala Kendra Jaipur. Okay, this is floor plan, and it is according to Vastu Shastra. So these 8 blocks, the best position for a single block, like one block contains museum, another theater, another library, another art display room, another cafeteria, another hostel or studio, and they designed perfectly according to the Vastu Shastra. As we are moving towards the eco-friendly, sustainable architectural patterns, so we can follow Vastu Shastra format, which deals with the sustainable materials. This is the limitations also for Vastu Shastra, because it deals with only bricks, woods, and stone. That's all. Only 3 components. So this is the limitations, because we have a lot more things to deal with, the materials, PVC and others. But now many architectures, they are following these eco-friendly materials to build their houses. So they are experimenting with that. This is the Jawar Kala Kendra from satellite image, and it's experiment light property to minimize the wastage of electricity and others. So we can use Vastu Shastra even today to minimize the damage to the earth, and which is sustainable end of the day. Another word, it's very used, like alaya. Alaya for home. We use that word alaya for our home. Like Devalaya. Alaya for Deva, the house of God. Like alaya we use for home or house. What does it mean, alaya? Alaya means laya parjantam sthiti yasya. Laya parjantam sthiti yasya. So sustainable. Okay? Normally, we see the house is tilting towards left or right, and bridges are collapsing every day. In that sense, they are standing still over the centuries. And now, can you identify this image? Anyone? Sorry, don't read it. Can you identify? This is a student study material, so don't worry. I couldn't manage time to make a slide. It's a quiz question. Okay. So, Chauchat Yogini Temple of Madhya Pradesh. This is a Mitauli village, Morena district. And this it a similar pattern you can see the old parliament building of ours in Delhi. Isn't that? So again, this is the center point. This is the Shivalaya. And this is the 64 Yogini temples. Okay. Again, let's go to the modern parliament. This symbol tower in between. We are using lights and ears over there. And this is the rooms all around. Okay. Yes. No. So this is a 1927 print. So this is when it was inaugurated. The sunlight. So according to Vastu Shastra, the team of architects consists of 4 people. Okay, one is Sapati, the chief engineer or the architect or master builder who can complete the entire construction, and he's the most knowledgeable, obvious. Again, the Sutragrahi, who holds the measurement tape. Sutra, measurement tape, who holds the measurement tape, the measurement expert or craftsman, or he is also called Rekhagya. So he is master of lines. Under him, these 2 people works. One is Bardhaki. Who is Bardhaki? Bardhaki Muni, who joins all the blocks of the woods, blocks of the stones, and all such things. So even today, expert Bardhaki is important for anything you do for a house, like a tiles or a wooden floor, anything. Proper Bardhaki must be there. So he is the master of joining. Okay, and another is Takshakaha, who chisels out the wood or stone under the guidance of Sutragrahi. He is a master chiseler for wood or stone or anything. So leave it, leave it, leave it, leave it, leave it. Now we are not discussing about Buddha and Jain structures. Leave it, leave it, leave it. Let's go to straight to, sir, 5 minutes, no? Or 10 minutes. 10 minutes. Okay, leave it. Major Indian architectural styles. Okay, let's see three images. Familiar to you? This is three style of temples. Major three styles. Okay, there are many more. Nagara, Dravida, Vesara. Nagara for northern India, Dravida for southern India. Vesara means mixed. Okay. Vesara is mixed. Okay. So this is a mixed format, experimental format. Okay. You can find it anywhere. I can give you the examples. Don't worry. So, what is the important features of Nagara style? Who can say this particular bell-like format? It's called Shikhara. The bell-like format of a temple, Northern Indian temple, it's called Shikhara. Okay, and most of the cases it is bell-like, not like pyramid. But in Dravida style, it's like a pyramid. Okay, and this is called Vimana. What is called? Vimana. This is a multi-storied thing. Okay, according to Moyamata, we found 12-story building also. The description to build, how to build a 12-story building. This is a multi-story building. 1 story, second, third, fourth, fifth. Okay, so this is a structural difference. First, so Shikhara and Vimana. Again, another feature is Gopuram. What is Gopuram? Who can say what is Gopuram? Anybody? Gopuram means gate. Gate, main gate. So most of the cases in Dravidian style, the entire temple is surrounded by a wall, high wall, and there are 4 doors or big gates. This is called Torana or Gopuram. Gopuram. So this is an example of a Nagara style temple. Okay, let's see. This is under here is a Garbhagriha inside it. It's a Shikhara. Whenever there is a puja in our home, we put a earthen pot and mango leaves on it, and we put color. Then we put some raw coconut and other things like mana. Okay. So topmost part in a shikhara, there is a kalasha. There is a kalasha or a pot. Mostly there is a metal pot. Beyond that, there is a mango leaf kind of formation. Okay, we call it amalaka, like amra. When the mango leaves like form, it's called amalaka. This is main tower, shikhara. Small towers also, like Birla Temple in Kolkata. There are many small towers. It's called Uru Shikhara. Okay, this is Garbha inside, Garbhagriha. Now, there. This is the main temple. Done. Okay. There are subsidiary smaller hall. Okay, this is called mandap. If there are multiple mandapas, biggest mandapa is called Mahamandapa. And if there is a gap, a small gap between Shikhara, Garbhagriha and Mandapa, there is a antechamber kind of idea. This is called Antarala. It is normally used used to hide deity for dress change and other things. So antarala, which hides with some javanika or some doors somewhere. This is called antarala. And smaller mandapas are called ardha mandapa. And there is another path. You can do the pradakshina of the entire temple. It's called pradakshina patha. It's continuing from the Bauddha style. Don't forget, in the stupa style, we left it. We just now we are not discussing in details that, but in Buddha's stupa there is a pradakshina patha, and that style still continuing after the period when this particular Nagara style emerged. Okay, this is the raised platform called the Jagati, and this is the Adhisthana, the base, pedestal, on which the entire temple is built. Now, again, another important thing to be discussed in this particular North Indian style temple is that Ratha. What is Ratha? Ratha is nothing but the projection. Temple is not a simple bell-like structure, but the walls are projecting outside from the four sides. This projection, suppose this is the main temple. Oh, Garbhagriha. This is the wall. Okay. This is a Pancharatha temple. This is a projection. One face, second, third, fourth, and fifth. Pancharatha is a projection from the main wall, and the projection gradually continues to the Shikhara, and this way the Shikhara is built. So normally, what happens before? Is there anyone who visited Qutub Minar complex? No. There is a temple in Qutub Minar complex where you can see the gradual development of arc engineering. How the arch is made. Initially, we built the arch like pyramid, one brick little ahead, then ahead, pushing a little inward, and then the last brick is there. Arch is not direct arch; it's like okay. But after that, when we learned about the keystone technology, like the entire dome is blocked by a keystone from top, that technology was not there. So initially they tried to do the format, the dome-like shape, bell-like shape by projecting a little bit outward. This is the basic engineering behind that. So this is a Triratha, this is a Pancharatha, Saptaratha, and Navaratha is the highest format. Okay, as we'll get. And let's go to the Dravida style. In Dravida style, it developed throughout the Chola Empire in the 9th to 12th century AD. So, normally the region is Krishna and Kaveri River. And there, the two most characteristics is there. I want to say Bhimano, as we discussed earlier. And another thing is the sanctum, the Garbhagriha, has four entries. Unlike Nagara style, which has only one entry to the basic Garbhagriha, there are four entries to the Garbhagriha. Okay. So this is the main differences. And another thing, the Garbhagriha, there is a circular pathway around Garbhagriha to the Pradakshina, where we found not the Garbhagriha in Nagara style, but anywhere in the Mandapas there is a Pradakshina path. Not directly after the Garbhagriha, there is a Pradakshina path. So this is the difference. Again, Mandapa is pillared hall, whatever, leave it. Okay. Let's go. Okay. Now this is the mixed format. Veshara. Besara format, it developed basically the region between Krishna River and Bindha area, and central India and Deccan also. We have some evidences of this kind of Besara style. This is a semicircular erection of Buddhist Chaitya has been copied. Mixed, maneta ki? Mixed means the shikhara from the Nagara style and the enclosed wall enclosed area from the Dravida style has been copied. Again, carved like uh, entrance, the semicircular entrance, it's also copied from Buddhist Chaitas. Chaita means the prayer halls. Chaita means Buddhist prayer halls. They copied that particular carved like shape from Buddhist Chaitas. So, but one another important difference is that these kind of Veshara temple style temple, they are highly decorated. Decoration, sculpting, so minute, so polished. So you can you can feel. I think uh, you will be awed by that particular form of beauty. So polished, so perfectly ornamented, and also the wall carvings. Again, so architecture principles, leave it. Let's see. Again, Gopuram, Dhwajastambha. Acha, in Puri, the Puri temple, is a Dravida style temple or Nagara or Veshara? Anyone can guess? Vesara. Because it has a tower like, bell like Shikhara, but it also has Dhwajastambha. It also has a Gopuram. So, Odishan tradition is a mixed format influenced by Dravidian and North Indian style. There's a Mahamandapa, bigger halls, and in the sanctum, the Garbhagriha. This is the basic structure. Sometimes, uh, let's leave the philosophy, okay? This is a philosophical part, I'm leaving it, don't worry. It's too much, it's too short of time. So, it is a Sharanari, okay? So, they are comparing with this human body and the temple. This is the entire philosophy. I'm just leaving it. Don't worry. I can. Okay. First, Garbhagriha, Shikhara you learned, Parikrama Patha you learned, Mandapa. Mandapa you learned. There's a bigger halls. If there are multiple mandapas, the different names will be there. So, if there is a intermittent, not immediate, but in between any small mandapa is there, Mahamandapa and Garbhagriha, or Mahamandapa and exit or entry path. If there is any small mandapa, that is called Artha Mandapa. Then, if Asthana Mandapa is the assembly hall, okay, normally in the mandapas are used for scripture readings or katha or spiritual lectures. They are normally used for that. Kalyana Mandapam. You can identify with Kalyana Mandapam the word. There's a marriage hall. Okay. Normally in southern India, the marriage is performed in temple. So this is a Kalyana Mandapam. Mahamandapam, you know the biggest of that. Ranga Mandapam, Nandi Mandapam, Meghanatha Mandapam, Namaskara Mandapam, Opena Mandapam. So there are lots of mandapams format. Uh, Again, this is a Thai Buddhist temple, Thai Buddhist temple, and you can see the mandapa. Okay, in southern India, the Gaudiya style or Dravidian style, there are lots of pillars in the mandapa or hall. Okay, so some temple there are in some temple there are musical pillars like but in Nagara style there are less number of pillars in mandapa. This is another difference. Antarala, this is anti-chamber concept. You learned it also. Okay. Shikhara is not at all so simple. So there are Only three examples I just gave you. There's a Bhumija. This kind of pattern of Shikhar is called Bhumija. And this color is a Shekhar. This is main Shikhara and the Upa Shikharas are this. And these are Latina. This particular format, this is normally used in Puri and Orishan style temples like Ananta Vasudev temple or Puri or Lingaraj temple or Rajarani temple. Everywhere you can see that. Yes? Again, this is this kind of Latina format. It came from the Jain format of temple building. That's called Deul. Deul format. In Bengal also we found Jotar Deul. Built temples, single tower temples like Deul, Jotar Deul, and others. So these brick-like temples, it's called Deul. They copied this style, then again developed in this form, and it's a Rekha Deul, straight. If one straight tower is there, it's called Rekha Deul. Like that, different kind of Deuls are also there. Leave it, leave it, leave it, leave it, leave it, leave it. Leave. Okay. Another example of Andhra. This is another mandapa. This Garbhagriha. This is a small portion. Okay. This is a small joining portion. That's a cubical kind of form that joins mandapa and the Garbhagriha. Again, I just living the Bengal style of yeah, there are many forms like Chala, Ratno, Dalan, Moncho, Deul, Mod, Pira, like endless forms of temples. Bengal format, leave it. Okay, again, last thing, there's a monolithic structures. Monolithic structure means the temple carved out from a single piece of stone. Okay, the temples cut out from single piece of stone. Okay, nothing is joined after. Okay, so like single piece construction is a feature, impressive scale, intricate carvings, religious and cultural significance, because most of the cases there are carvings about the epic stories from Ramayana and Mahabharata and Bhagavatas and others. Technical expertise, obvious. There are some engineering genius they are, because uh, those this kind of thing only can be done by engineering genius, because any mistake, one single mistake, you ruin the entire project. So I can show you the examples like Kailashnath temple, Elephant Cave, Mahabalipuram monolith. Okay, this is the some udaharan. This is what? This is Kailash temple. Entire building, entire detailing is carved out of one single stone without mistake. Okay, the entire detailing carved out of one single stone. This is a monolithic. Mind it, there was no laser engraving machines at that time. These are Chaitas. These are 5 rathas of Mahabalipuram. Rathas of Pancha Pandavas. Fine detailing is there. 5 rathas. And this is a story from Mahabharata of Arjuna's tapasya. Tapaha. Okay, and the story of Kirata Arjuniyam also depicted over here. This in the stone carvings. Okay, so let's finish it. It's okay. Let's finish. Finish. It is a stone engravings, you know. It is step well. The water reservation, I was telling about the water reservations. This is a step well to store rain waters. So detailed. Okay. Rani Ka Bhav. So many names are there. Puchkarini, Kund, Bauli, Nada, Bhav. So many types of water reservoirs are there. Leave it. Oh, this is in Hyderabad. There's a Chand Baudi. You can go down from single step, but you can come back from that particular single step. Never. You have to take another path. Come out of it. Okay, leave it. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Sorry.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kaushik. I think it was a very illuminating talk regarding different technical styles and so on. Uh, Regarding the kind of the ordering of the speakers, I keep Professor Divisa has no objection. And since we are, is the host of it, let us give them say variety of the guest. Is a perfect. He wants to is as one for a dollar. Let him give you that. Very much not part of us. Not right, that's right. Okay. I'm going to call names. Can I express? I ask the audience to bear with us because yes, it's not done. Case wanting the talk just now. So let's hear him over. We being the host institution. Let's hear him over and then our own Vivek. Our own Vivek can talk after he is over. Okay. And he has kindly agreed to my request. Okay. Now, given the gap, may I ask the fairly enough audience here.
Yes, I can
May
hear
I
you.
ask that there will be refreshments immediately after the thing is over, and we are arranging for some coffee and some cold drinks as well. Okay, we are going to arrange for that round about 4:30. Here is Shesha. আমরা দুটোই অ্যারেঞ্জ করছি থ্যাংক ইউ অ্যান্ড ম্যাডাম শুভাকা
It's already joined.
যদি বলেন হ্যাঁ এখানে অ্যালাও কি তাহলে আমি ডেকে নিব ঠিক আছে ডেকে ডেকে নিচ্ছি হ্যাঁ ঠিক আছে আর our guest speaker is very much with us. Can you hear us, sir? Can you hear us?
Disturbance of the voice. I can hear you. It's a disturbance of the voice.
There is a disturbance in the voice. Just
Yeah. It's
just a minute.
Am I audible?
Yes.
So can we start?
Yes, I will just say one line in introduction, if you don't mind. One line. We have with us, it's a privilege and our honor to have Dr. Vinayak Raj Bhatt with us. Vinayak Rajat Bhatt of the School of Arts, Humanities and Social Sciences, the Center of IKS, Chanakya University. It would be a privilege for us, sir, to listen to you, and you have your own time till 4 o'clock so that you can go ahead with your deliberations. Okay, it is a privilege for us. Thank you very much. As a host institution, I am Professor Chatterjee speaking from here. Okay, thank you. Let it-
Vidanana margam prananam nisham ekadam mam ek. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah. Maya sarve bhutrani pashantu ma nishtam. It's really an honor to share my thoughts, esteemed faculty in front of me, scholar of any Shastra or something. Yes, I'm a professor in the university. As IKS itself is a ocean, we are still trying to get from that ocean, trying to quench our thirst. So, whatever knowledge I have, whatever I try to gain from my gurus, will share those with you all. And thanks to Scottish College and my university for giving me this opportunity to share my knowledge with you all. So today we will be discussing about Let me share the screen first. Is it visible? Is the PPT visible?
Yes, sir.
So today we will be discussing about Indian knowledge system. That's what you have been listening for last couple of hours. In this session, we will be discussing about ancient Indian economics. And so when we hear this word economics and politics, especially when we hear this word economics, and when we translate this word economics, we usually use the word Arthashastra. But Arthashastra is not the word which actually can be translated as economics. Economics is translated as Arthashastra. Arthashastra cannot be translated as economics. How, why, and all we will be seeing in this session. So when we use this word Arthashastra, or when we try to understand the concept called Indian economics and politics, what are those things which actually gives us the understanding about Indian economics or politics? We usually ask this question. And the answers, most of the time, the answers which comes to us is Kautilya's Arthashastra. But is that all? Is what um, I usually ask questions to the participants where I go somewhere. So that's not all. So when this question is asked, the answer is there are many texts like Dharma Shastra texts, Arthashastra texts, and Niti Shastra texts which deal with the economics as well as political science. Now, question is how Dharma Shastra deals with this. How Arthashastra, okay, we can understand it is translated as economics. So, economics is dealt in Arthashastra. Niti Shastra, Niti Shastra usually it is used to guide us about values of the society or values of the individual. How come Niti Shastra can be the text which deals with politics or economics? Similarly, there are Vedas, Itihasas, and Puranas, which deal which we say that it deals with political science and economics. See what happens when we see these texts, because names are in Sanskrit. We usually have this myth spread throughout that these texts are religious texts. But if you really go and read these texts, you will find out that these texts are not at all religious texts. These texts are either law related texts or these texts in the same. If you take Manusmriti, you will find law, you will find economics, you will find political science, you will find psychology. So in whatever lens you want to read that, you will find your subject in. Similar thing happens with Shastra texts. Similar thing happens with Niti Shastra texts too. These texts are not mere religious texts. In Dharma Shastra, there are some areas where religious discussions are happening, but that does not mean that this whole text itself or this whole area of study itself is religious. There are few areas where there's a discussion happening about religious aspects. If you really read these texts, you will find out that political science and economics can be found in these texts. These are not mere subjects because Indian way of thinking or Indian way of studying never limited ancient Indians never limited themselves to one aspect and wrote the text on that. I think you all might have heard about this Samudra Mathana concept. The story of Samudra Mathana you might have heard. What happens in Samudra Mathana? The Devas and Asuras, they come together to churn the ocean to get Amrita. Okay. While doing that, while they were striving for getting the Amrita, they also find 14 other gems like Lakshmi, Chandra, Moon, Lakshmi, horse, elephant, and all we get from that. Similarly, Indians focused on one goal. While doing that, ensure ensured that while writing the text for that goal, it covers all other aspects which are required to support that goal. That's why whatever ancient Indian text you will take, you will find that it never merely touches one aspect like the modern texts do. So we cannot say that Arthashastra is a text of economics, we cannot say Dharmashastra is a text of religion, and we cannot say Niti Shastra is a text of values or ethics. Now it deals with that. Okay. So even Vedas, Itihasas, and Puranas. Itihasas and Puranas I have kept it aside because the main goal of Itihasas and Puranas are not to explain Shastra, Niti Shastra, or Dharma Shastra. Their major goal is to explain Purusharthas. While explaining Purusharthas in several contexts, they might deal with economics, they might deal with political science, but they are not of political science or economics. These texts can be called as text of political science or not mere text of economics or political science. This we have to keep in. So, what is Arthashastra? The term, the broader term which is used, or major term which is used, which actually compiles the economics, governance, political science, is Arthashastra. Now, you may have doubt how come Arthashastra, where the word Artha means wealth, wealth can cover all these aspects. So, Arthashastra should be the science of wealth. It's not like that because Shastra, in Arthashastra, the word Artha has a specific meaning. We'll see now. So, Artha has several meanings. Okay. So, in several contexts, several meanings have been provided. So, Kama Sutra says, Vidya, Bhumi, Hiranya, Pashu, Dhanya, Bhando, Puskaram, Deenam, Architasya, Vivardhanam, Artha means the Vatsyayana wrote Kama Sutra. He actually explains Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha. While defining Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha, he defines Artha as acquisition of knowledge, acquisition of land, acquisition of gold, that happiness, confidence. Mere acquiring, but also protecting this is called. It is the definition given by Vatsyayana in his Kama Sutra. Also, you might have heard this word Vidyarthi. You might have heard this word Ashwathi, Dhanyarthi, Mitrarthi. So, Vidyarthi word is very famous. Why he is called Vidyarthi? Vidyam Chayate. Iti Vidyarthi. One who seeks for Vidya. So, here Artha means to seek also. So, another definition, etymology possible is Vidya Tham Yasyasa. One whose Artha is Vidya. Where he is also called Vidyarthi. These are the several etymologies possible. The word Vidyarthi. Now, what Chanakya says about the term called Chanakya says Manushyanam Vritti, that is, the livelihood of a human being is called Artha. See, here Artha does not mean mere wealth. Now, it's how you interpret term called wealth. If you want to say wealth, Vidya is a wealth, Bhumi is a wealth, Hiranya is a wealth, it's fine. This is the Artha is, but if in livelihood you are adding governance, you are adding law, that does not mean that. The livelihood of a human being is called Artha. So, what is that livelihood? Livelihood can be anything. As I said, law, governance, wealth, everything comes into play. Manushya, there's another definition which Chanakya himself gives is Manushyavati Bhumiki. And with human beings is called Artha. In the term Shastra, the word Artha means Manushyavati Bhumihi, with human beings. So it does not mean wealth. means land with human beings. So what is Arthashastra? Treatise which deals with the acquisition and protection of that land with human beings is the Shastra. Science or treatise which deals with acquisition means gaining and then protection. Both things need to be taken care of. That is that text which deals with this concept of acquisition and how to protect this. That text is called Arthashastra. Now let's move into the what is history of Arthashastra. So there was a time, this is from Mahabharata Shanti Parva. As usually, if we read the political science, so we will find there will be one history given by different political science experts or political scientists. Similarly, in our Indian sector also, Indian political science, we have a history. History is given in Mahabharata Shanti Parva, where so happens that Bhishma is lying on that bed of arrows. And that time Krishna asks Yudhishthira, go and get the knowledge of Dharma, especially Raja Dharma. And Yudhishthira really goes to Bhishma. And at that time, Bhishma actually tells him everything about Dharma. While doing so, Yudhishthira asks Bhishma, it is when that the term Raja was first used, and it is when that this whole Rajya concept came into existence. So Bhishma says, there was a time, this shloka which is in front of you, it's about that. So I will just tell the meaning because we don't have enough time to cover all the aspects of this Indian economics and political science. So whatever we can cover, let's cover. So there was a time when there was no kingdom, no king, no governance, no governor, nothing. There was no punishment because there was why. The question is why there was no punishment, no kingdom, no king, no governor, no governance, no finisher, nobody. Because people used to protect themselves, protect each other. Dharma is not religion. Dharma means the duty. Dharma, there's a now there's an issue. The word dharma cannot be translated. It's very difficult. It's one of the non-translatables, which is very difficult to translate because different occasions you have different meaning of the for the word dharma. Some places dharma means duty. Some places dharma means law. In some places dharma means truth. So, what is dharma? So, in Mahabharata itself, it's a definition given. Dharana dharma ityahu dharmo dharayate praja. One which helps in sustaining is called dharma. So, whatever which helps in the sustainment of the world and an individual is called dharma. So when we speak about this sustainable goals, etc., we Indians, whoever speaks about Indian knowledge system, we know that if we properly follow whatever is told in Dharma Shastra, whatever is Dharma, that is nothing but sustaining. Sustaining is nothing but a goal. That is what we can achieve to forming our Dharma. Dharma means duty. Some cases it becomes duty, right? So people used to do their duties properly. Whoever was given whatever duty they were performing their duty, duty of student was to study. The student used to study. Duty of a soldier was to protect people, so he used to protect the people. Duty of a businessman was to do the business. They were doing their business. Similarly, duty of the king was to take care of the society, so he used to take care of the society. So no, I'm sorry. So that there was no king, so there was no concept of dharma. So people used to do their duties. They never used to transgress their duties. Student never tried to earn money, and uh, sannyasi never tried to become grihastha. So they used to do their duty as prescribed in Dharma Shastra. Gradually, what happened? they came into delusion and felt like I need more. Student wanted more. Student wanted to earn. So students started doing Grihastha, they started earning, and sannyasi also became started earning, Grihastha became sannyasi. So these type of issues started happening. Now the problem is people left reading Vedas, people left studying Shastra, they left studying the text, they started behaving oddly. And what happened? They stopped even forming the yajnas. Yajnas are very important. Maybe some other day, if we get time, we can discuss about the concept of yajna. Yajna is not mere keeping that yajna kunda we have putting. That's very important, but that's not mere that. Yajna has a very deep, it's a very deep concept, which is not really trained well, because of which most of the people think yajna is just a sacrifice, sacrificing something in a fire. It's not mere that. Veda actually explains more than that. It's needed different hour, needed more time to explain the concept. So whatever people stop forming it, it was so that people use whatever people used to do through yajna, it used to reach the gods, and the gods used to give the rain and grains, etc. It did not happen. So this is the story in Mahabharata. So instead of going with the, it's very important to in story. Instead of going with the asset, whatever is in lines, it's better to interpret the thing, because lot of Indian texts have Gudha thing. Because the reason is Vedas were very difficult to understand. So what happens? See, all are teachers, and uh, we can understand that whenever we teach a concept to the student, they don't understand. What do? We try to explain it through examples. Sometimes we create our own stories, make that concept understandable to the students. Similarly, what Vyasa or Valmiki they have done several places, they try to explain the concept to the stories. And while explaining those concepts to the stories, what happened gradually is what lost, story remained. Happens many times. Even in our students also it happens. They take away the stories, but they give away the concepts. That's what it happened. Anyway, so even in this story also, we have to take the concept thing. So what happened? So people have left doing the yajnas. So all the gods went to one, saying that no, people are not performing yajnas. So it's a bar system. Unless they do yajna, we cannot provide rain. So it's a given relationship. So they have lost, they are not doing their duties. What should we do? So what happens? Brahmas says, okay, I will do one thing. Brahma is academician like us. So what he did? He wrote a one big one lakh chapters. Brahma is academician like us. So he wrote, just like we all are researchers, we write textbooks, we write books. He also wrote a book. Now, writing the book, he gives the book. Now the Devatas ask, no, you have written the book. What should we do? He said, I am the academician. I have written my book. No, it's your duty. What you want to do, you do. Whatever you want to do, you do in this book. So what Devatas do, they all go to Vishnu, because he is the person who actually applies all these things. Okay? Even see, whatever, even now, we academicians, we actually write down the theory, give it to the politicians. The politicians actually apply this. See, the concept to be understood here. There was some great scholar who wrote book of 1 lakh chapters, and that was given to Vishnu, a person who knows how to apply. It was the duty of Vishnu to apply it. So what he did, he was maybe he was busy at that time. He asked his son, whose name is Viraja. Okay? You can see here, uh, Viraja. Okay, Viraja says, I am not interested in politics. It's not my area. So I am interested in philosophy. So please give, I am not, please don't give this task to me. So it was given to Kirtiman, son of Viraja. Even Kirtiman says, I am not interested. And then goes to Kartama. Kartama says, I am not interested too. It goes to Nanga. Nanga actually takes this touch, and he actually tries his best. He is not a good politician, but he tries his best. He was pretty calm and right. He was not well versed in the thing. Still, he tries to manage the society. When goes to his son Atibala, who looks like he harassed people a lot. He was not a good king. Then it goes to Vena. Vena also was like his father. He was very cruel. He used to harass the people. He used to kill the people. He used to punish them for no reasons. And what happens during that time? It was like all the rishis came together, saying that he's not good for the society. So they killed Vena. Killing. It was found that from Vena, they had three sons, Necha, Nishad. It is in the story, if you go and see, you will find that the rishis actually turned Vena, and from Vena's body, Nechas and Nishadas came out. These are barbarians, actually. They usually travel. They usually travel here and there. They reside in forests, jungles, and they actually kill the people. They are like man eaters. They actually hunt. They were like they were barbarians. From the same Vena, when the rishis turned, they from the right hand of Vena, the man came out. His name was, and he became well versed in those 1 lakh chapters, and he actually took care of his people very well. So he was called as Raja. Why he was called Raja? The word Raja has a very specific meaning, etymology. You cannot translate the word Raja as a king or a ruler or a boss. The word Raja means Ranjayati Prajaha iti Raja. Ranjayati means one who cherishes. One who cherishes his subject is called Raja. Usually what happens, we actually translate the word Raja as a ruler. So Raja does not mean one who rules. Raja means one who cherishes his subject is called Raja. So Ranjayati Prajaha iti Raja. So that is the etymology of the term Raja. So Chanakya is considered to be the one of the great scholar for statecraft or scholar for governance, public administration, economics. Before Chanakya too, there was a rich tradition of Arthashastra. Now that we have understood what is Arthashastra, maybe we will never say that Arthashastra is economics. Means while translating, it's okay if we are translating from regional language to English, it's fine. If we are taking Sanskrit term Arthashastra, it's not translated as economics. Maybe we can translate it as public administration and governance. Public administration and governance. And before Chanakya too, there were some very great scholars which Chanakya himself quotes at some times. Chanakya, many people say Chanakya was very rude, Chanakya never respected his fellow beings or his ancestors. But if we really read Chanakya's Arthashastra, we'll find that Chanakya was very kind person. He was very down to earth. In his Arthashastra itself, he says, Sivyaha labhe palane cha yavantyarthashastrani purvacharya prasthapitani Samdhatya Ekamidam Arthashastram Kritam. He says that what all the acquiring and protection of the land, whatever Arthashastra my previous acharyas have, see, he uses the word acharya here. He's not saying the Vidwans or something. He's saying the word acharya. Acharya means gurus, teachers. Whatever my previous teachers have contributed to this knowledge of protecting and acquisition of land, I have collected all those thoughts and made one Shastra here. Who are those scholars? Those scholars are Shukra, Brihaspati, Vishalakshami, Shiva, Shuna means Narada, Savyati, Uddhava, Bharadwaja, Parashara, Paunakadanta means Bhishma, Modanti Putra means Indra, Oshanas means they are the descendants of Shukra. So this way, even before Chanakya, there were many great scholars who have contributed to this knowledge of political science and economics. It's a very huge area, needs lot of readings to even to understand Kautilya's Arthashastra. If we don't read these texts, it becomes very difficult to interpret or understand Kautilya's Arthashastra. So it becomes important to read these scholars. So what are the subjects or topics dealt in Arthashastra? It's Yogakshema, Saptanga, and under Saptanga you can say Shatrunya. Yogakshema, Saptanga, and Shatrunya are the three major concepts which are discussed in Kautilya's Arthashastra. What is Yogakshema? We'll see next slide. Yogakshema has four things: acquiring, protecting, expanding, and enjoying. First, if you don't have anything, you acquire that. From teacher's perspective, if we don't have knowledge of something, we do we try to acquire it from either the books, to the scholars, or our peers. Once we have acquired it, we try to remember it in our brains or in our notebooks or in our laptops. Then next step, what we do, once we have protected it and we have understood the concept very well, whatever we have acquired, then we try to expand that knowledge. And once that expansion is done, either we enjoy it ourselves, or another thing is we share it with others. We actually teach it and we share it with others. So this is called Yogakshema. Now, let's see it with the lens of economics or political science. Now, in political science, you have to, as a king or as a Raja, or if you want, see, this concept is very universal. It's not mere, we cannot just restrict mere to political science. We can extend it to the corporate world, we can take it to our home, we can extend it to maybe wherever we want. Okay. Even our institutions, our colleges. So let's see with the angle of political science now. If there is some king, so he tries to acquire the land so that he can uh, take care of the welfare of his people. Once they acquired, thinks about protecting it, then he thinks about expanding that land again, then distributing that land to the people. Now, with concept of wealth, acquiring the wealth we all the salary. That's acquiring the wealth. We get the salary. Now protecting it. How do we protect it? We actually protect it either by uh, investing it somewhere, or by putting as FD or RD, or putting it in a bank somewhere. In a different way we try to protect it. Or as a LIC, in insurance. There's one way of. Then if you invest it in mutual funds, it's like expanding it. Once you have done all that, whatever is remaining, or whatever is more you have got, that you will share with your family. Means we earn it, and then after earning, we try to bring the gifts for our family members. That is like enjoying. We enjoy it through maybe food, clothes, house, in different ways. That's again Yoga Kshema in house. So that's wealth. About economics, if you will. It's called Yoga Kshema. The leader concept all Arthashastra deals. When Yogakshema, under Yogakshema, to execute Yogakshema, you need to have Saptanga Rajya. 7 elements of the state plays a major role in executing the yoga. What are those 7 uh, elements? Then this is not, again, I say this is a universal concept. So we cannot say this mere applies for a kingdom. You can apply it to your home. You can apply it to the a company. You can apply it to your body itself. Let's see. Maybe after this, if there is some activity you have to do, I will give you one activity which your coordinators may ask you to do. So there are 7 angas are Swami, Matya, Swami, Matra, Ganapati, Dosha, Buddhi, Gandhi. These are the seven elements of a state. So, Swami, word Swami is derived as Swamya Asti. It is Swami. One who possesses something is called Swami. Anybody who possesses something. For example, I possess this mobile phone. So I am the Swami of this mobile phone. Now I possess that. So I am the Swami of that. So somebody who possesses kingdom is the Swami of that kingdom. This is another term used for Swami is Raja, which we have already seen. Ranjayati Prajaha, one who cherishes his subjects is called Raja. Now, second element, very nearest element is Amatya. Amatya means Ama means together. So one who is always with king is Amatya. So under this Amatya category, there are many. This whole is actually it's a missionary. Okay. Under Amatya, there are uh, there are ministers. So let me put it. Amatya is a general term. Under that general term, there will be common ministers. There will be special cabinet ministers like Mantri. So all the mantris are Amatyas, but Amatyas are not mantris. Okay? All Amatyas are not mantris, but all mantris are Amatyas. Mantri word mantri is very specific. Mantraha iti mantri. One who has secret is called mantri. Who deals with secret activities, one who one who actually plays the role in secret discussions, he is called mantri. So, Matya can be anybody. Uh, this mantri has a specific role. So, all the mantris are amatyas. Amatyas are not mantris. Under amatya, you have Duta, ambassador, and under amatya, you have collector. Under amatya, you have the what do you say the treasurer. So, there are many people who come under the concept of amatya. Amatya and mantri. Duta also come under amatya. Duta means amatya actually means in detail about the promotion people. So we'll not discuss all those aspects. Janapada means the place where people dwell. It's one definition. The word Janapada means both territory as well as population because of the etymology. Kosha is wealth. Kosha means treasure. So where the Chanakya actually deals in detail about this Kosha also. That's why maybe most of the time people say, actually Chanakya deals with foreign policy more. But Kosha. Still, while dealing that, he also deals with the concept of wealth. So maybe many people think that it's economics text. Then comes Durga. Durga means four or five different types of forts discussed in different Arthashastra texts, like mountain fort, jungle fort, desert fort, human forts. So these are five different types of forts discussed in different Arthashastra texts. Then comes Danda. Danda is in both can be classified into internal as well as external. Internal danda means like law enforcement. It's internal danda. External danda is okay, army. There are seven different types of army officials explained in PS Shastra and other Shastra. Then comes Mitra. Mitra means ally. Okay. And while discussing Mitra, there is also a discussion about Shallu. So maybe now I would like to wind up this session if you have any question because see these seven concepts we have been this political science concept seven concept it's if I start discussing it can go beyond 5 o'clock. I don't want to stretch because I have another meeting to attend after this session. So I am very sorry that I could not lead you. I could not share the knowledge of these things with you all. Maybe in future, if we get some occasion, we will. Uh, if you have any questions, we can take that, or else let us find this session. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you very much, sir. Uh, our guest speaker from Chanakya has just invited questions from the house. So, if anyone has anything to ask, since he is constrained for time, I would say that if anyone has any question to ask him, please go ahead and ask. Otherwise, we will go on to the next one. Yeah. Anyone with a precise question or something like that on what he has said? I have an amusing question to ask. It's an amusing question. Yeah, I'll go here. Sir, I have an amusing question to ask. I'm not a specialist in IKS. I'm not a specialist in areas that you have been talking about philosophy, and I consider myself reasonably qualified to talk about Adartha Shastra because my science is economics, as you know, but of the neoclassical variety. But the question that I ask is probably amusing to many people over here who are much more experts than I am. What about this word Swami that I heard some time ago? There is a common word in Bengali where we refer to Swami. Excuse me. In what sense is this person a Swami? Is it in the sense of the Raja? Is it in the sense of the controller? Is it in the sense of someone who is in a superior position to the other person? Is the other person in an inferior position? In the fourth generation of feminism, it is but natural that I will ask this question. Please forgive me if the question is extremely foolish. Okay. What would you say to what I am asking?
So word Swami,
Means
one meaning which yes, one word, one meaning I have given you. One meaning the word Swam also means self.
also means
Self.
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 Self. Okay, okay, fine. Okay.
So it has two meanings. One who possesses something. Another one again who possesses the self. So in if we read the political science text, if we understand is one who possesses the self as well as possesses something is called Swam. Can be anybody.
How does this answer my question? Because
Yeah.
I am asking that
Mhm.
how relevant it is. Now,
Mhm.
when you are looking at the relationship between a husband and a wife, and
Mhm.
you are looking at a person carrying Swami, then sorry, Madam Indrani, I am. I thought I would not have to press the point that much, but I am still asking the question that in the modern connotation, it will be terrible if we say the person possesses or the person has control over. The same problem goes with the word husband also. Do you love that word? The word husband. Yes. The husband is it's from same word the animal husbandry the word comes. Okay, same why same connotation. Are you happy with that word? So Swami. No, another meaning you are what you are signifying. It means the Bharta. Okay, Swami has different connotations. From your context, it means Bharta, and his context, he is the ruler. Okay, ruler in context of our kingdom, and also it is a variable word, variable, like a mathematical formula is a variable. Okay. Sometimes it said as Vijeta, or again it says again Vijeta, and another context like Odi. So another context. In this context, is a ruler in a variable sense. Okay. So do you agree? For a kingdom A, under is called Vijeta. For another kingdom, the same person, the king, he is also a ruler. He is called Adi. For another kingdom, same ruler, he is referred as Udasin or Madhava. Like that. He is a variable term. He is a ruler. And your context is a Varta, just like a husband in general English. Okay. No, I don't have any dispute with you about the word husband. I don't have any dispute with you on the matter. But I am coming. Sir, do you agree with what he is saying? That you would say
Yeah,
that.
yeah, he's
Your
correct.
answer.
I'm not,
The interpretation. Okay. I want your answer. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, he's correct. Uh, when we are saying the word Swami, when it comes to household thing, if we want Swami, if you want to use that word in household thing, when the word Swami, as I said, there are two etymologies for this word. Depends what etymology we want to take. Second etymology, which I said, Swam Asya Asti, means one who knows the self, who has control over the self. Can be anybody, can be a woman, that can be a man. So word Swami is two etymologies. Now it depends upon what etymology we want to take.
Thank you very much, sir. My question is answered. As far as I am
Thank you,
concerned,
sir.
I know what you are saying. Um, does anyone in the audience, I'm just coordinating the thing. Anyone in the audience with any questions for sir? Otherwise, let us leave him because he has some work. Okay. Does anyone else have any question about the matter? No. It appears that, sir, you could
Yes, sir.
go ahead with a lot of thanks from our part because we learned a lot
Thank you.
in what we heard from you. And I think we intend to organize a more meaningful time. The time will have to be extended. All kinds of um, angles will have to be looked after when we discuss IKS in much more detail. Maybe we will ask you again to
Sure, sir.
join with us. Thank you.
I'll be glad.
Thank you very much. Shubhakanksha. And please, come on. Thank you. Thank you. Madam, would you please close down the thing? And we go on. We will
Sure, sure. Yeah,
May I
thank you
leave?
so much, sir. So to now, I can just,
Sure, sure. When I'm free.
Yes, we are at our last speaker, and someone was telling me that the audience might be going off to sleep. Just in case that happens, we are going to serve some coffee and some soft drinks. Whatever your preference is, you go ahead. No one will go out of the hall. The coffee will come and the soft drink will come. You select whichever you want and you have it. Okay. Thank you very much. Vivek, we have been waiting eagerly for you. And as the last speaker who is concluding, it's yours now. The house is yours. Thank you.
ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् ॐ स्थापकाय च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्मस्वरूपिणे अवतारवरिष्ठाय रामकृष्णाय ते नमः. In the outset, I express my heartfelt gratitude to the authorities of Scottish Church College and Chanakya University for providing me this opportunity to share some of my uh, observations on Paninian grammar. And I am actually now thinking that this is a topic everybody knows here. And all the teachers present here, almost all are known to us. We are known to each other. So we know that if I go with what is Paninian grammar, and there are three rishis, Trimuni, Vyakarana, and other things, it will be very boring for all of us because we know all those things. So, okay, I do not have much more time. So I will speak it first. Ananta Shastram Bahu Veditavyam. Swal Okay. Swalpascha kalo bahavascha vigna yatsarabhutam tadupasitavyam hamso yatha kshiram ibambu madhyat. So knowledge is endless, much is there to be known, time is limited, and the obstacles are many. Hence, whatever is the essence to be followed, just as swan drinks milk in the case of being mixed with water. So we will follow the gist of the things. So first of all, um, now see, we know Panini was here in India in 500 BCE, or George Cardona says 400 BCE, like that. So we are discussing about a grammar of Sanskrit language which was written 2500 years ago. So it makes us flabbergasted when we think that this kind of book, this kind of treatise was written so long time ago when there was no technology and I mean so called modern technology and many other things. And Panini, he did this monumental work of writing sutras, and the name of his book is Ashtadhyayi. And we see that all the disciplines, all the branches of Indian knowledge tradition are influenced by Panini. Whatever it may be, philosophy, it may be Sthapatya, it may be some other branches like Dharmashastra, all are influenced by Panini. And the successors of Panini did an amazing work. They didn't confine Paninian grammar within the grammar only. It went beyond grammar. And we know that Paninian grammar also has philosophical perspective. We know Patanjali did a great work, Mahabhashya, and later Kaundabhatta in Bhushanasara, Bhartrihari in Bhakyapadiya. So when we think about grammar in Indian knowledge tradition, it is grammar and beyond. So we have spiritualized almost everything. So now, first of all, I will try to locate where this grammar stays. For example, there are Ashtadasha Vidyasthanas, as Indrani Madam has told earlier, four Vedas. And to understand those four Vedas, there are six Vedangas and four Upangas and four Upavedas. And we are quite acquainted to all these things. So these six Vedangas, these are actually auxiliary disciplines. Shiksha, Kalpa, Vyakarana, Nirukta, Chanda, and Jyotisha. Vyakarana, uh, often translated as grammar, which ensures the correct understanding and usage of language, particularly Sanskrit. So we are dealing with Sanskrit language. Now the question is Panini the first one who wrote grammar on Sanskrit? The answer is no. Are there no other grammarians after Panini who wrote grammar on Sanskrit language? The answer is no. So there were a lot of grammarians before Panini, and there were a lot of grammarians after Panini. But why, whenever we say about Sanskrit grammar, why this guy always come to our mind? So Panini did an amazing thing. He was actually in a very important time juncture. Sanskrit language and actually the Vedic Sanskrit language and classical Sanskrit language, he saw both the languages and wrote rules for both of them. So previously it was not available, like for Vedic Sanskrit, which is very different from the classical Sanskrit. So Panini wrote grammar, wrote sutras, aphorisms for both Vedic Sanskrit and classical Sanskrit. Sutras were written after Panini as well, but Panini made the correct structure, which is very important. And because of that, we see that even in modern times, Ferdinand the Saussure, he was very much influenced by Paninian grammar. And we know Noam Chomsky, he also said that it is the first generative grammar ever made by humans. So it was the first instance of grammar which is so decorated, so well structured. And it is so much well structured that later, when computational linguistics came, Rick Briggs, he said in 1985, he was a scientist of NASA. He wrote that if we see a language which is very nearer to computer language, it is Sanskrit, because it avoids ambiguity, it avoid it avoids all other complications natural languages generally face. And as we teach Paninian grammar in our classrooms, we know the structure. So a lot of legends uh, are very familiar regarding Panini. That we know that Panini was not that much bright at first, so he performed tapas to please Shiva, and Shiva was pleased, and he came and he blissfully danced and placed his damru. And listening to those sounds, 14 sutras appeared in Panini's mind. So there were other people as well. Sanaka was there. So everybody realized for what they were actually performing tapas. So Panini got these sutras. It was not written by Panini. Panini says that these are called Maheshwara sutras. These came from Maheshwara. And these are also called Akshara Samamnaya. These are treated like Vedas. If you chant Maheshwara sutras or Panini sutras, phala, that means different kind of spiritual outcomes are also uh, told in the texts, but we will stay in the technical part. He, I am skipping actually. So these are actually 14 Maheshwara Sutras. It is a magical sequence of letters. Sanskrit letters means vowels and consonants. In our Varnamala, we see a, I, u like that. But Panini, he got this sequence, magical sequence, and wrote grammar on it. So this is the base of Paninian grammar. But we shouldn't confine Panini in that much space only, because whenever we deal with language, there is phonetics, phonology, syntax, semantics, pragmatics, so a lot of things. And the interesting thing is Panini touched almost all those things, all those aspects. Ukalo jhasva dirgha plutaha. So there you can find that how this should be pronounced, how much time is needed to utter, to pronounce the Hraswa, Dirgha and Pluta sounds. So it deals with sounds, it's phonetics, phonemes. And when we go Ajanta Punglinga Prakarana and other Prakaranas, even in Samasa, it deals with morphology, the inflections, vibhaktis, and Bharyayai Krudhyati. And in case of examples, we see that Panini wrote sutras on semantics as well. So grammar, he just not for syntax, not for phonetics. Panini wrote grammar covering almost all the aspects of a language, and that's why when we say grammar, that the definition of grammar in Indian perspective is a bit different. So in Oxford English Dictionary, we see a different kind of explanations. We already know it, so I will not speak it out. But in case of Sanskrit, when we say Vyakarana, we say Vyakriyante Vyutpadyante Shabdaha Anena. So Vyakarana is a tool, is a mean through which we see the inflections of a word, how a word is made. Prakriti and Pratyaya. For example, um, if a word kartavya, duty, so we divide it in kri and tavya. So kri is prakriti, the root, and tavya is the suffix. So in every cases, in every word, we find this kind of inflections. So, and another definition is vyakriyante vivichyante shabdaha apashabdebhyaha. So there are a lot of words which are not correct words. Correct in sense, it may be popular in vernaculars, but for example, in Bengali, uh, if I say Makorsha in Bengali, so it is actually mainstream Bengali. But if I say in Bankura language, it is Bengali, but we say Dakur, so it is quite different. Some people may not understand even what the person is saying. So if the word is go, there are a lot of words in vernaculars. Gabi, Goni, Gota, Gopatalika. So what Vyakarana helps us to know what is apashabda and what is sadhu shabda. So it differentiates the sadhu shabdas from the apashabdas. So it helps. Vyakarana stands for that. And what is the necessity of Vyakarana? So Patanjali in his Mahabhashya, he says, Raksho Hagama Lagva Sandeha Prayojanam. Raksha. Rakshartham Vedana Madhyayam Vyakaranam. We must read Vyakarana to save the Vedas. If we don't know Vyakarana, we will misspell and sometimes do mistakes in Vedas while uttering the mantras. And in that case, if we pronounce the mantras in a different way, different kind of outcomes will come. For example, one guy was there, his name is Britra. He was very much angry with Indra. So he performed one yajna, sacrifice, and he last did ahuti saying Indra Shatrur Vardhasva. So the enemy of Indra should come out from here. But he misspelled. He didn't pronounce it correctly. So what happened? Different kind of meaning will come. Indra Shatrur Vardhasva, it means the enemy of Indra, and at the same time, person um, who will be killed by Indra. Totally different meaning will come from that. So stress is different. If you say Indra Shatrur Vardhasva, the stress in, if the stress is in Indra, so it then it comes in a different meaning. So he was very much excited, and he said in anger, Indra Shatrur Vardhasva. And Britra, sorry, Twasta was performing the yajna. So Britra came out from that yajna and was killed by Indra. So it was all in vain. So actually, to do the Vedic rituals in a perfect way, we need to learn Vyakarana. So Vyakarana is very important, and that's why it influences almost all the branches of Indian knowledge system. And now we know that Paninian grammar, we don't say Panini's grammar, because it was not only Panini who contributed to create this grammar. Panini wrote Ashtadhyayi. This is a book consists of almost 4,000 sutras, which are divided in 8 chapters, and which are again subdivided into 4 sections or padas. That means 4 adhyayas. In each adhyaya, 4 subsections are there, 4 padas. So 32 padas are there. So after 100 years, Katyayana came, and Katyayana saw that the language has changed. There some additions should be made. So he wrote Vartikas, almost 1400 Vartikas he wrote, to justify or clarify or occasionally critique Panini's sutras. Patanjali did the marvelous work in 1st century BCE. So he wrote Mahabhashya, which is an actually commentary on selected rules of Sanskrit grammar from Panini's treatise Ashtadhyayi, and as well as Katyayana's Bhartika. So later, following this tradition, two branches came out. So some people, they studied Paninian grammar following the Ashtadhyayi Krama. Ashtadhyayi Krama means the sequence, the magical sequence made by Panini himself. But it was scattered here and there. For example, if you want to learn the Sandhi rules or Karaka rules, you will not get it in a single place. For example, we teach Karaka, so some sutras are placed in first Prathamadhyaya Chaturtha Pada, and the Vibhakti sutras are placed in Ditiyadhyaya Tritiya Pada. So it is scattered in different places. So later, Prakriya Kaumudikara or Bhattoji Dikshita, they came and they arrange the sequence in a different way. For example, if I want to learn Sandhi, so all the Sandhi sutras will be in same place. So they also did an epoch-making work following this Prakriya Krama. So we see there are books like Kashika Vritti of Vamana Jayaditya following the Ashtadhyayi Krama. But later, Bhattoji Dikshita's work, Siddhanta Kaumudi, later Laghu Siddhanta Kaumudi or Laghu Manjusa, Parama Laghu Manjusa, or all followed Prakriya Krama. So now Prakriya Krama is very much popular. So, now I will conclude. Now, following this Panini's system, Panini's structure, nowadays a lot of machines are made where you can put the words to make sandhi and it will give the resulting form. Because Panini's system is so much pure, so much flawless that if we follow this structure, easily one program can be made. And this is not like Panini followed the colloquial language. He made code language, technical language as well. For example, we are speaking like Viveka is speaking now, but when we put that in computer, it will come in 0 and 1 in binary. Panini did not like that, but a different way. For example, he named a sequence like who, he, he, and technical terms. A lot of technical terms are used, and we see in Nyaya philosophy as well, though it is written in Sanskrit, but the language is very much technical. It is quite different, and if somebody who do not who doesn't know the technical language, though he knows Sanskrit, he cannot understand the texts of Nyaya philosophy. And in case of Panini as well, a different technical literature, technical style was introduced. So just if we go through the sutras, we may not understand the meaning of it. So so this actually, the natural language part and technical language part both help us to make those machines, to incorporate this in computation and computers language. So I will conclude saying this, that we are very much blessed, we are very much uh, glorified that Panini wrote this kind of treatise. What Panini did is Panini made Sanskrit very strong. It is not like that the Sanskrit language was never there before Panini. It was there. Grammars were there. But Panini made Sanskrit very strong. That's why he saw the language minutely and wrote almost all the aspects which cover the language. So, because of that only, when we see Ramayana, Mahabharata text, which are very, very ancient, we can understand that because Panini did this marvelous work and saved um, that the form of Sanskrit which was present in that time. That doesn't mean that language did not evolve. Panini, some people say that Panini actually put Sanskrit in jail. So it was never evolved. No, it was not like that. Language evolved in its own course. But what Panini did, Panini saved that image of Sanskrit, which was present in that time. So that's why the texts of that time are also uh, apprehendable now as well. So I again thank all the dignitaries present here, all our eminent scholars, our respected teachers, and my beloved students for listening to me for a long time. And I know it is very painful to listen to the last lecture, but you endured a lot. Thank you.
Thank you. Now we are at the end of the FTP that was held today, and it is my duty to propose a vote of thanks. I thank the principal of our college and the vice principal, the IQAC coordinator, who have made the occasion possible. Shubhakanki, I thank you very much to having represented the Chanakya University of Bangalore and brought along two very interesting speakers, one for the morning seminar for the students and one for the FTP that we held today. Also, I am sure that those teachers who have attended the program today are thinking about the wide canvas that has been opened up in the form of the IKS. Just look at how many aspects have been spoken about. What are the times from which we are following concepts and yet finding relevance in our everyday lives? The speakers have talked about that. I also thank all the faculty members, our faculty from leading colleges who are teaching Sanskrit, philosophy, and subjects like that in the true tradition of the IKS. Finally, the technical staff who have assisted us in making the live YouTube program a success. I thank them, and I assure all faculty who have been here that e-certificates will be given to them. It will come in your mail, your e-certificate, duly signed by the principal of our college, Dr. Madhumanjari Mandal, along with the registrar of Chanakya University, Dr. Joshi. It will be signed. It has the digital signatures of both of them. Hopefully, we are going to send it in a few days, 2-3 days time. You are going to get it. We have come to the end of the program, and I declare the program as closed. Thank you.